Hello, and welcome to Mind-Body Relationship, where we talk about the mind, the body, and the relationship. I'm Dr. Laurie Ponsford-Hill, and today we have a special guest, Lee-Anne. How about if you tell everybody a bit about yourself?
Sure. My name's Lee-Anne Beig. I'm a student counselor at the Counselling House, working under Dr. Laurie Ponsford-Hill. And I am also a rehab therapist at Parkwood Hospital, where I work in the Acquired Brain Injury Program. And I'm also a musician. My early career, I spent educating very young people in music and music theory.
Oh, very, very good. So today we're actually really talking about music therapy, music in general, and its incorporation in regards to therapy.
Yes.
Is that correct? Oh, okay. So how about if you tell us a little bit about music? Where does it come from?
Well, music is thought of as both an art and a science, and throughout the ages it's had a powerful effect on how we express emotions, how we behave, how we feel. It has the power to calm us, to energize us, to help us feel connected to each other and the world, and in some cases heal our minds and our bodies. Music rivals language on fMRIs in the areas of brain that are activated when a person's listening to music. And in fact, many of the same regions of the brain are activated as when we're talking and when we're communicating. Music is used to heal. It's inviting, fun, non-invasive, and music is near and dear to all of us. And we use it to find comfort, motivation, and relaxation. Music can be used to make connections and promote healing. So music does many things in our lives.
Mm-hmm. You know, I think about lullabies. Right? Yes. Between mom and child, yes. Right? Creating a sense of connection.
Yes. As humans, our responsiveness to music begins in the womb, and throughout the ages, women have used music to both soothe and communicate to their children. An infant's brain is able to differentiate between known patterns of sound and those that are novel, so things that are new to them and things that they've experienced before. And that's even in the womb. So,
wow, that's amazing, isn't it?
It is very amazing. We are really hardwired to language and music as humans. EEGs show newborns and infants can detect the beat in music when the next beat will fall, and so they have it's kind of like your heartbeat.
Oh, that's so true. Yeah.
And as humans, we have an ability to entrain to those beats and to those rhythms and move to the beat of music. The rhythmic, repetitive aspects of music engage the neocortex of the brain. With the right music, we can calm ourselves, we can reduce impulsivity, alter our mood state, and we're born and die with the ability to entrain to the music. So it stays with us all our lives.
Intriguing. Wow. Yeah, because there's a calming effect, right? Depending upon what it is that you're listening to. But there's also an excitable effect.
Exactly. Exactly. We can use music to change our mood, whether it's to bring your mood down or to bring your mood up. And music therapists actually use interventions such as lyrical analysis, improvisation, and music playing, active listening to music, and songwriting when they use music in their therapy. Music therapy is a specialized field, but everybody uses music. As a layperson, we use music to regulate our mood and help calm ourselves. In counseling, we use music to help with sleep. And to help regulate mood. So although it is a special field all unto itself, it's not exclusive in the way we use music in therapy. But music therapists will often use lyric analysis. This allows individuals to identify the lyrics and really tackle those hard topics that they could not access otherwise. So there might be some grief expressed in a piece of music, or some loss that the client could identify with in that music and talk about through the music that they couldn't maybe talk about in talk therapy.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting, isn't it? Because really when you think about it, music is poetry, right? And so the expression of poetry, just in a different way, right? And when you think about grief, I really think about like the Wailing Wall.
Yes.
Yes. And how it is that there are some cultures that actually really, they do that, don't they? They release the grief, the pent up, upset feelings by, in essence, singing.
Yes.
Which is wailing. That's right.
It's interesting, 200 BC, back in the days of the Greeks, a man named Sekulos actually used music to express his grief. He wrote a piece of music in Greek notation on the gravestone.
Oh, interesting.
It is. So we have used music for centuries to really express our emotions and find some healing through that expression.
Mm-hmm. It's also a way to connect, isn't it? Because it's not just an individual, it's a group working together. When I think about orchestras, choirs, the church experience, right? It's that connectivity, learns kind of like a community endeavor.
Exactly. Music is community. I think that when you come together to share music, you're sharing not only the sound of music, but you're sharing the experience of creating it, and you're having shared experience in the emotions that come out of that. I have a personal experience of that, actually. I was singing in a choir one time, London Pro Musica. I recorded a piece by Eleanor Daly, Set Me as a Seal Upon Your Heart.
Ah.
And it was a time in my life where I was having to process some grief with the loss of a loved one. And that song had the power to help me process some of that and express some of that emotion through the music, and I felt much better afterwards.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a means of journaling, it
Yes.
sounds like. Yeah. So not only the written word, right, but the expression of the written word.
Yes, exactly. Pythagoras actually used music prescriptively.
Oh.
Back, he was one of the first recorded people to use music as therapy. And actually, King Saul had David play the lyre for him.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
To release his bad demons, which I'm wondering if maybe that's not just some depression and anxiety that he felt as the pressures of being king. So through the ages, we have always used music and continue to express ourselves through music and healing. I know it's used in depression, anxiety, substance abuse. With substance abuse, often people have trouble committing to the therapy, and music's a non-threatening, kind of non-invasive, motivating way to keep people engaged in their therapy.
Yeah, also a way to focus as well, isn't it? Right?
Yeah,
I think about white noise.
Yes.
Right? And how it is, it's a kind of a distraction, right? In order to allow a person to, well, in essence, focus to fall asleep or whatever that might be.
Yeah, well, in anxiety, actually, often music is used to distract the person from the ruminating thoughts, to get themselves out of their head and focus on something other than what's causing their anxiety. Not only does it help with our thoughts and distraction, but it also creates a chemical change in our brains. And it's through those neural connections and those chemical changes that we can actually produce that sense of calm. And it's funny because music can actually heal in medical situations. They can use it pre and post surgery to help with pain. They can use it to help with motivation and therapy. They've used it in neonatal units to control overstimulation in the noisy neonatal units and to help with the blood pressure and blood oxygen levels and the heart rate. So music can be used medically as therapy. It can also be used in a sense of therapy as we are experiencing therapy.
And in the movies, to soothe the savage beast.
To soothe the savage beast. Absolutely.
Well, you know, I think also, too, there's a generational difference in regards to music, which I find very, very interesting. You know, talking about the whole idea, the lullabies as a child, then the kind of chanting. I don't know what you call that, when it is that children in kindergarten, that sort of thing, learn sort of like those camp songs, right? And as it is that you get older, the hardcore, you know, rock and roll, at least that's from my day, right? And there's all kinds of, you know, offshoots from that.
Yes.
Millions of offshoots from
Lots
that.
of genres.
Lots of genres. I mean, there's the country music, A Tear in My Beer.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Generally speaking, not all about the good times.
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned the radio because the human brain actually is able within points of a second, like up to a long period is 3 seconds. If our brain thinks about a piece of music for 3 seconds or less, we know whether we like it or not.
Oh, yeah. When I think about advertising and jingles, right? How these things actually really get stuck in your head.
I know. It's interesting.
It is. And then, of course, for the older adult, right, the things that they learned when it was that they were young.
Yes.
Really
Absolutely.
sticks with them. The music that was learned in, for example, church, when they were going to Sunday school, right? And that connectivity.
Absolutely. I think as people age and suffer things like dementia and Alzheimer's, it's those early memories that they connect to the most. And oftentimes it's that music and that familiar music that can bring that back. Mm-hmm. There's an intergenerational choir project that happened in London in conjunction with Western University, the Sisters of St. Joseph, and Medway High School. And they actually used music to bring people together in community, intergenerationally, and to help those suffering with dementia and Alzheimer's change their mood, come out of some depression. One woman actually, who was in the choir, mentioned that singing was her medicine. Singing was her medicine. And a dear mentor of mine, Ken Fleet, he conducted a number of choirs in the region, and he was well known throughout Canada for his conducting. He suffered from Alzheimer's, and he was part of that project, and he actually conducted some of the music. So while he lost many of the skills for daily life, he was able to get up in front of people and conduct that familiar music, that music that he had done for years, and he was able to function through that and get some of that back, that self-worth back, those skills back. So it's really quite amazing what music can do.
Dementia on what do you call it? There's no question. That's the first thing they should be doing is singing. It brings them back to their core. It changes your whole chemistry inside of you.
It is amazing, isn't it?
It is.
Yes.
It is. I know historically slaves in the South, they would sing songs to help bolster their spirits from the oppression they felt, and they would sing the music to stay in rhythm, working in the field so that they could do large amounts of work. I think that actually is maybe one of the reasons why humans are able to function so well with music and why it lights up such large areas of the brain as language does, is because functionally music serves a purpose for us. It helps us work together in community. It helps us do tasks that we would not otherwise be able to do, whether that be remember, such as the Alzheimer's tasks, but also large works. The shipyards and on the seas, they would hoist heavy sails and lift heavy loads as they would sing their sea shanties and things.
Oh, yeah.
And so music can help us accomplish things. It can motivate us.
Oh, surely. I think about the military.
Yes.
Right? With the marching and the keeping rhythm.
Absolutely.
Right? Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. What do they call those marches? Cadences.
Cadences.
Cadences, yes. Yes.
Sound off.
1, 2.
Sound off.
3, 4.
I also think about drumming. Right?
Yes.
Drumming is a very important element in regards to spirituality, right?
Yes.
Native spirituality. And it is also that cadence, right? That community factor. There's a lot of energy and excitement that goes into the drumming.
Yeah, again, you can use it to change mood, so motivate and build that sense of excitement about this, whatever they were talking or whatever they were using, the talking drums and doing things. Actually was a study with teenage adolescent boys, and they used drumming to help with their aggression and anger.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, they were able to have lasting effects beyond the drum circles. So it lasted longer than just the session they were in, with a reduction in their anxiety.
Oh, very good.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
lots of benefits to music.
There's a lot of benefits to music.
There are. So music can actually help with insomnia and sleep difficulties. If you play music at a tempo of less than 62 to 70 beats per minute for about half an hour at a moderate decibel, 45 or less decibels, music can actually facilitate sleep. There's a chemical change that can happen. It can increase your levels of melatonin, which helps sleep.
So, I mean, you know, there are instruments that you can learn in regards to music, but there's also just the sound of your voice that you can use quite easily in regards to music. And that's your instrument, is that right?
That is my instrument. Although I do play the oboe.
Oh, okay.
And I do play the piano. I do play the violin. But very rudimentarily. The voice is actually my instrument. I studied voice at Western
interesting.
University. But I think music can help with memory and attention, and the study of music at any age can be beneficial, whether you learned it as a youngster, in which case there are benefits to memory and attention and mathematics and increased neural pathways in the brain, or whether you learn it as an older adult to keep your fingers nimble and stem off arthritis and keep your brain active, whether it gives you a sense of community. I know there's a couple bands in London actually that are specifically for seniors. So they have a sense of community and shared music. I think one of the things that can happen as we age is we can become more isolated. And
so true.
Yeah, music can give us that sense of community and that coming together to create something
That's
beautiful.
So true. Just leaving the radio on makes you feel like you're not alone.
Exactly. Exactly. And so music does many things for us. It reduces isolation, gives us community. It can help heal our bodies. It can help heal our minds.
Help get us moving.
Exactly. Who wants to go to a workout class where the stereo is not working to keep us motivated on that bike?
Personal experience?
Yes.
Well, that's good to know.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you, Lee-Anne, for coming to join us and talking about music therapy.
You are welcome. One of my favorite topics.
Oh, fantastic. And, you know, hopefully you liked it as well. And if you do, just give us a like, subscribe, contact us to find out more information. And, Lee-Anne, how about if you sing us out? How about The Hills Are Alive with the Sound of Music?
There we go.
All right.
The hills are alive with the sound of music, with songs they have sung for 1,000 years. My heart wants to beat with the sound of